Hello everyone, welcome to Agility Innovations. Here we have built automation scenario stacks that runs entire client's back office on its own, from capturing leads, invoice notifications, approval routing, request digest, change request dispatch, and all wired through make.com automations, zero manual intervention. And here is how exactly it works. We have saved around 40 plus hours per month of our client by giving these automations. So here are few automations listed. One that does lead capture and sends the qualified leads to the marketing team. Then vendor invoice notifications. What it does is it gives the notification to the internal team whenever a vendor submits for the invoice. And it also has a process for them to approve it easily without any manual intervention. Then we have the request complete notification and change request dispatcher. These are something whenever a client wants changes into their services, they use these automations. First of all, the lead, this one filters the bad leads before they ever touch the sales team. Only qualified leads prospects land on the calendar. Typeform feeds into Google Sheets of raw logging, then this hits the pipe drive. We search for the person first, and if they exist, we just create a deal. And if they don't, we create the person and then create the deal. Then a sub router checks two condition. If it is an Amazon seller and does the revenue clear our threshold? If yes, then we send them to the marketing team or the sales team. And if not, then we log them into a pipe drive and save it there. Our client is someone who builds strategy for the Amazon sellers. That's why we are basically focusing on the ones who are sellers on Amazon. This is how the automation has the flow. The typeform watches in if the leads is coming on, the Google Sheet logs it, pipe drive, search for the person so that we don't have duplicate entries in our data set. If the person exists, then we only create the deal. And if the person does not exist, then we create the person and then create the deal. The subrouter checks the revenue and answers, and then Hyros does the tracking of that person and then creates a lead. Pipedrive deal is being logged once the uh, deal is qualified. This is the next automation that we have done for the vendors. Whenever a vendors come in, they submit the invoice for approval, whatever task they have done for this company or the or our client. The vendors uh, submit their request in a Smartsheet form, and from there we take it to the internal team. Whenever a vendor is submitting a Smartsheet form with their invoice, we send the invoice to the internal team along with the invoice attachment, whether it can be a screenshot, it can be a PDF, XYZ, anything. We send this to a Slack channel where the accounting team checks this invoice. Once so this scenario sends the notification to the accounting team. This is how it is working. It has total 12 steps. Uh, the Smartsheet rows are being watched. If a new invoice is submitted, we make an API call, download the invoice, whether it can be PDF, image, or any document which has the invoice. And then we search for the person whom the invoice is requested, and we tag that person along with the invoice and a message. The message includes the current invoice detail and a one previous invoice detail, which is the most recent one. And then we send this data to the Slack channel so that they can have a clear idea on which invoice and which vendor has submitted this invoice. After that, we have the approval router as well. The Slack, whenever the person who is supposed to approve the invoice just goes to the Slack, checks the invoice, check the attachment with it, and can react with a right tick, green right tick. And once that reaction is being checked, the Automation takes that reaction and checks whether it is approved by the person who is supposed to be approved or tagged in that message. If yes, then it logs into the smart sheet that this invoice has been approved. Then it sends the notification to the accounting team that this invoice has been approved and we can pay out the invoice. And once the invoice is approved, there is a thread message in the Slack message thread. There is a approval notification that this invoice has been approved. Once the payment for this particular invoice is being done, there is another notification in the same thread of the invoice message that this payment has been processed. So here is what we have done on the three routes. First route checks for the approval lookup, that is the React. Second one checks for the uh, whether the invoice is approved or not. There is a CSV. We take all the data in the CSV, parse the whole CSV, and then check it. And the similar one, that is the approval, that is payment processing. This is something which we use this for change request. Whenever a CSM that is being working with a client wants to do some changes in the subscription of a particular client, we use this automation. We send in the request. This is the request dispatcher. This request dispatcher sends the data to the Slack channel whenever a CSM has been given the Smartsheet form, which they can fill with the request or the change request into that. And whenever a change request is being logged, it directs to the particular CSM's accounting channel that we have into the Slack, along with the details of what is to be changed while tagging the accounting team or the one who managed the client board. Once that is done, the accounting team gets to know that this is the client whom's service has to be changed, or the charges has to be changed, or anything can be. It can be the delaying charge, it can be renewing subscription, it can be something like changing the subscription type from weekly to bi-weekly or monthly, XYZ, anything. All the requests are being logged here. So this is how it is working. It sends it also sends us an error message if there is an error into the or into the entries that are being logged into the Smartsheet form. Then it will send a mail to the technical team that this automation is cannot process this particular entry due to this reason. And after that, when the request has been there, we send a request complete notification. Once the client board manager does the changes that has been requested for the particular client, and once that is done, we send notification to the CSM that this particular request has been processed successfully, and now you can proceed further with the client. So this removes the back and forth of the accounting team and the CSMs, that they don't need to contact each other and text each message. This follows a proper SOP which they use to send a change request for a particular client and collect that. Now, we at Agility Innovations have built a platform where we have this a lot of automation scenarios in a similar manner, which can be used by anyone they want. Here we have our platform named as automationmart.io. Here you can come in, log in, and sign up for free. Here we have platform for two people who are buyers and sellers. Anyone can come in and sell their own automations and can buy also the automation built by the we at Agility Innovations. Here we have a lot of automations. Let me show you some. Yeah. Here we have a lot of make.com automations, Zapier automation, and N8N automations. You can contact us if you want to build any custom automations. We provide services for the automation setup as well. If you want to do this setup, uh, if you just want to buy the automation, you can just download the JSON from us and can upload it to your make.com platform. But if you want the setup as well, you can add that service as well while billing, and our support team will contact you soon and will help you in configuration as well. This is something configuration takes does not take more than an hour, and this is how we proceed at Automation Marketer. And if you have any queries, you can just come to our page and contact us. Thank you.